folks, and welcome to my channel and another moon reading. This time we're going to be looking at the full moon in Sagittarius. And if I am correct, some people are calling it a strawberry moon, which excites me. And I've just had my little moon diary out. And obviously, I've mentioned this before. The 11th of June is the final day of our group healing, but also on the Friday, it's Friday the 13th. Now, if you've been on the path a while, you'll know that Friday the 13th isn't really a bad thing, that actually 13 represents the divine feminine, which is about flow and creation. And what I'm feeling for this is we live in a world now where we're seeing many examples of, well, let's just say it, the toxic divine, the toxic undivine feminine in many different ways. Women that are doing all kinds of things to cheapen themselves. Not all women, there are some amazing women out there. And it feels as though this full moon portal week gateway is, and whether you're female or male, is about healing another layer of that wounding. What is a female? Does she observe ritual and practice? Does she show up for herself? Does she honor herself? And this is for males as well. Do you show up for your feminine? Do you show up for the women in your life? Have you shown up for the women in your life? I'm just looking at the diary because I'm getting information from it. How do we take that forward? How do we grow new things? And with the group healing as well coming in, which is about the chakra system, clearing the chakra system to get us ready for the solstice, that's powerful as well. And then, the week after, we've got the solstice energy. So in an interesting 2 weeks. And what I want to say with this is it's a deeply spiritual time. We are seeing, and we will continue to see, a lot of noise on the world stage. I have said this before, it's the old burning out its old cycles. I've been shown the analogy, when you cleaned out a room, cleaned out a room, and there's that box of stuff. We always end up with it, whether you've decorated, moving house, or sorting. Honestly, I don't know what this box is about, but everyone has one where it's that box or bag of stuff. You're like, what do we do with this? It's that final bit of clearing out that needs to be done. I'm feeling that that's what the collective stage is doing at the minute. It's important to not get distracted by it. And it's important to remember that right now we're going through some very deeply spiritual transformations. We can wake up one day, any one day, and decide to get fully drawn into the news and lose ourselves completely, get ourselves involved in being on a side and I'm right, you're wrong, or get ourselves involved in fear, or we can transmute that and actually focus on our evolution, our collective evolution, internal evolution, and the evolution of the soul group that we're in right now, and the different roles that we're all playing at any one time. I've just finished the global news video for the other channel, CTGT Tarot. And one of the things I ended up on was saying something like, we get to choose. You're either a muggle or you're magic. You're either a muggle or you're magic. So a muggle is a non-believer. They eat, sleep, rave, repeat. They're tied into the system. They're tied into, debilitating belief systems. They feel hopeless and helpless. They, all kinds of things. Or you're magic, where you know that yes, things happen, but you're able to alchemize it. You're able to change it. You're able to transform it. You believe that you are a transformer of energy, and you know that you can assist yourself and others in some cases in this transformation. And this full moon and this week that we're talking about up to the solstice feels pretty important in relation to that, I must say. In fact, the solstice is 2 weeks away all the time of filming, 2.5 weeks. The card that I've picked for us to start us off is the Eight of Cups, which again is deep spiritual revelations. The card at the bottom of this deck, the deck, by the way, is the Astro Matrix Tarot. The card at the bottom of this deck is this one here. It's the Nine of Pentacles. And these past few weeks, there has been this upgrade, download energy of self-worth, working on our self-worth, working on what we bring to the table, what we receive from that table as well. And some of that has been truly painful. But it feels as though if you've done the work in this upgrade that we've been experiencing, this full moon helps to release it. My group healings, by the way, I am not an astrologer. So when I actually plan my group healings, I swear to God, the group healings are around my schedule, right? When I've got clients, when I've not got clients, when I'm on holiday, I do not look and think full moon, none of that. And it always happens like this. The only time I do plan it is around solstices and Lionsgate, but that's it. So, that group healing, if you're on it, is also tied into it. That can take you deeper. But also, as well, the Friday the 13th energy, which is the feminine number, and the solstice that's up and coming. So, this is a really important time, which is possibly why we're seeing a lot of noise. Now, we're seeing a lot of noise in the global stage, but we're also seeing a lot of noise at a personal level. So you may have people in your life that are trying to pull you back into old patterns, old belief systems of not being worthy. These are two powerful cards at a powerful time. Are you a muggle or are you magic? If you're choosing magic and anyone can choose magic, then this is the path that you're on. Okay? So let's pull some more cards. In fact, there's an oracle card that wants to complement these apparently. So the oracle card decks that I'm using, not decks, is the Soul Coaching by Denise Lynn. Card complements these two then. Pleasure and surrender. Are you going to surrender? Are you going to let go? And are you also going to find your pleasure? The pleasure in your life, the pleasure in your body, the pleasure in your work, the pleasure in your play, the pleasure in the family that you've got. Those that find pleasure, what did Roald Dahl say about magic? Those that believe in magic will see it everywhere, something like that. Let me know in the comments. Um, and this helps to get you into that. So when you can embrace your femininity again, it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, it's about pleasure. It's about looking after you. It's about early nights. It's about journaling. It's about, the physical cleanliness of the body. It's about how you conduct yourself in any one moment. It's about firm, healthy, flowable boundaries. It's about showing up for yourself in times when you feel nobody else is showing up for you. It's about making space. It's about you booking that therapy session. It's about you booking that healing session. It's about you having a laugh with the old lady in Asda or the store rather than looking at her as though you're above her. It's about pleasure and showing up for yourselves. That's what doing the work is. That's an aspect of doing the work and showing up. So interesting. So let's have some more cards in relation to the full moon in Sagittarius. With all of these portals, there's also the bit that comes in the shadow, so be aware of that. The two cards that have just sprung out is exactly what I thought it would be. Seven of Wands and Three of Pentacles, the unhealed traumas of others. Unfortunately, this is becoming louder and louder and louder. We're finding, and I keep saying it, birds of a feather flock together. So your haters will flock together. People with certain frequencies will flock together. People who believe they can will flock together. You will find there's an aspect of this moon where you may have to deal with this and defend yourself against others or the manifestations of others. What card comes after it? It's got the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom. So you're able to get through this. Heartbreak and pain, and it hurts. Of course it hurts. But you're able to see beyond it, the Two of Wands. You're able to keep in your lane and see your goals. You've got support. There are a lot of people at the minute that are desperately, desperately in pain and in wounding, and they're lashing out. Um, we've got to be spiritually and emotionally mature enough to deal with them. Not deal with them as to stop them or educate them, but to deal with them in a way that we can hold space for ourselves, where we understand in that minute this is something that they're projecting. Okay, this is something that they're sending my way because they can't deal with it themselves. Ace of Pentacles, so don't let it put you off your path. Somebody once said to me, if you're in a confrontation with someone and they say something either nasty or cruel or argumentative or whatever, and you listen to what they say and they say something in that, just listen. And if what they've said, there's an element of truth in it, even just a little bit of it, then take it on board and make a change. But if actually all it is just blethering, right? Just going for a right good old blether, and it's just, you can't even make out what they're saying, then you cut ties. Okay? Yeah? You step away from them. But in both cases, you nurture yourself. It's going to be fast energy around this time, moving forward. Um, as we get nearer to the solstice, we're going to get faster energy. I'll let you into a little secret. I have, because we're going away in June, got holiday booked, and I pre-film the tarot scopes anyway because it's a big job, and I like to know they're done because I know people like the tarot scope, so I don't want to miss out on that because I know people get joy from them. So I pre-filmed them. June's interesting because what is coming up in all of the tarot scopes blew my mind. When I do the tarot scopes, I also do them live on TikTok. I know I just like to do lives on TikTok. I don't do it for all my videos, but now and again I'll go live with the TikTokers. And like even they were like in the comments going, "Oh my God, this is nuts." So there is some big energies coming. There is some big shifts coming, and it's happening around this full moon. Hermit, I'm hearing with this. This is about being brave enough to go in and being brave enough to feel your vulnerabilities around the full moon. Whatever your vulnerabilities are, your weak spots, the spots that the bullies or your master teachers like to poke, your self-worth or your vulnerabilities. Are you brave enough to face your vulnerabilities? That's coming up with this full moon. Are you fulfilled enough to see beyond them? And I feel as well this past few weeks has been getting us to this point, gently nurturing and pushing us to this point. In fact, not just gently, but quite brutally. So, going through this portal, what would I say guidance wise? Grounding, stillness, peace, movement, anything that lifts you up. Listening to your intuition. Going back to basics. There's a real call here to go back to basics. The earth. The earth herself right now is going through some huge transformations. And so are we in the physical. There was somebody I came across on TikTok the other day that was saying, and I'm feeling this, anyone that's a healer right now or a reader, there's some huge upgrades coming in order to get us ready for what's coming next in relation to client sessions, in relation to the world, the globe, in relation to what we're going to be bringing into the sessions. So looking after yourself so you're able to hold that energy so that you're not that sieve that's just going to release it straight away. This is Ten of Swords energy, which is the helpless and hopeless energy. And you know what? That can come up in all of us. Some people are embodied in this all of the time, and no matter what you say or do, they're not shifting. That's fine. But we can also, all of us, get in on this. And for a moment or two, for a day or two, for an hour or two, but look at the vultures that are coming in. The vultures that are taking glory in your moments of weakness, the vultures that are actually wanting you to fall. So I'm going to put these cards back in the deck and we're going to read on this because this is an energy that is out there at the minute. Um, because it's easier to take pride in somebody else's issues and it you knows than it is to deal with their own stuff. So let's have some cards for this Ten of Swords. Guidance for dealing with it. Guidance for dealing with it. Mm. King of Swords. Power of the mind. Knowing when somebody is just bullshitting you. Knowing when somebody's just trying to break you because they are broken. You're gonna have to be strong. Not hard, strong. You've got to know your own mind. We've got the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom, the mature queen, the grounded queen, the abundant queen. Again, it's about self-worth, knowing what you bring to the table. It's about victory, celebrating your victories and justice. This is about balancing something as well. Balancing something karmically, maybe as well. If you're receiving this, this is helping you to release something that maybe in the past you were one of those vultures in a past life or in a past version of yourself where you were so weakened in your own life and existence, you took pride in others' downfall. And maybe you're going through something now where you're like, God, that feels awful. I can't believe I did that. So send love to that past version of yourself. Send love to the perpetrator, I'm hearing. If you could see what's going on in people's minds and consciousness right now, and especially the ones that are getting vitriolic, getting angry, getting resentful, scared, going into fight or flight, if you saw the stories that they still hold, the energies and emotions, we'd understand them a lot better and we'd possibly be able to hold more space for them. Does that make sense? But because we can, we go into, and we've got our own wounding and we've got our own journey that we're going on. We can go into victim mode. So it's about stepping out of victim mode because that's what if you stay in this energy, you'll receive more of it. You'll receive more people that will show you that until you go, whoa, 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 I'm not. And many of us have had this moment, and we continue to have this moment. Whoa, 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 I'm not putting up with that anymore. No, no. Until you get to that point, and then you change, and you know your self worth, and you go forward, and you make a life that you're proud of. Three of Wands receiving good stuff. Woo. And then we get the Lovers, which is choice and healing. It's building a life and a world that we want to be a part of. And if you're in pain watching this right now, you could be scoffing right at me. But seriously, truthfully, this is where humanity is going to. The old days of eat, sleep, rave, repeat, working every hour God sends, being a victim, all of that kind of stuff, chasing your own tail, being the victim of your family, all of that energy is going, the new earth, the new humans that are coming, but also humans that are already here, that are on the ascension path, are alchemizing and knowing that they are responsible for their future. That's why, if you're still in this energy of tell me my future, you're on a road to nowhere. You're really on a road to nowhere. If you're going to someone and wanting them to tell you your future, you're in a dangerous position. You're in a weakened position. Because ultimately, You are responsible for your destiny. If you think about the fact that we're stepping more and more off the karmic contract and the karmic wheel, we've come to earth with all this karma, yeah. So in order to clear it, we've got to go through predestined events. But if you're clearing all of that, there's going to be less and less predestined events. So there's going to be more opportunity, right, for you to have change and make change in your life. You're going to have more freedom. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's do some oracle cards. If you're going to someone about your future, I am trying to bring it into my own personal readings, but it's hard because you can see the wounding with people when you say, look, you try very gently to steer. Um, and the truth is, if you go into, and I've done this for myself, if you go to a reader, there's rain, if you can hear that, it's like lashing down. If you go to a reader or you read on yourself and you're feeling in a low mood, the true reading is going to be that. Your destiny's going to be in a lower. If they say, oh, God, you're going to meet a George Clooney lookalike. Oh my God, he's got billions of pounds. Your mum's here, your dead mum. Is it your mum or is it your grandma? I don't know. But there's a female here that really look and all that bullshit. The bullshitting you. They're bullshitting you. Because actually your frequency will be telling somebody totally different. Um, Power. Step into your power with the universe. Again, are you a muggle or are you magic? Communication, speaking truthfully about you and being honest with yourself. Stop trying to bullshit yourself. I'm getting there's an energy out there around this full moon. It's not just around the full moon, it's around all the time of I need to make it look like I'm in control all of the time. Leadership's been coming out a lot in the tarot scopes for July. Leadership, are you the lighthouse in the storm? And do you believe in magic? And that's your reading for the full moon. Um, there's some points for you to ponder. If you've not put your name down for the group healing, the link for it is below. Please do, because I'm looking forward to it. And the more I'm doing the readings, the personal readings, my own readings, and the collective stuff, the more I'm realizing this 2-3 week window that we're in, and also beyond up to the Lionsgate is powerful. All the information for the group healing is below. It's a distance channeled event, so there's no Zooms or classes or anything like that. I channel it throughout the day, but there is a video below that gives you more information, and the link to join is there, and it's only £22 for 2 days. Distance channeled healing. Thank you for watching. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.